What's going on, NEM crew? Welcome back to another video. It is day number 5 of the Datsun build 2.0. Today, no new parts are going on the Datsun, but we're taking off some old parts that will not be going back on. Let's get right into it. All right, guys, so day number 5. Now, just to keep you guys posted, these aren't 5 days in a row of me being in the garage, being split up between weeknights after work and weekends, pretty much all weekend in the garage, which is perfect. I love it. Forgot to mention in the last video, the tires are here. Tires. Oh yeah. Got some fresh rubber. We went with 205 55 16s, and I have a weird feeling that they're actually gonna rub with this setup. I think I put maximum amount of camber, no, maximum amount of positive camber, sorry, on the setup. And I'm curious, I kind of want to see what the maximum, like what, with those top hats, what I have run, like what am I running right now? Now it technically could be a little bit off because of the way I have the lower control arms and everything, because everything is fully adjustable. So technically could be off, but I may run max negative camber just to be safe, because I really don't feel like having to disassemble everything as I'm putting the car down and double checking clearances and things like that. So if this will load, we'll check really quick if I can find the top hats. Oh, okay. Yeah, so we're gonna run max negative camber, because right now it's at 1.5 degrees positive. So we're gonna run 1.5 degrees negative, which is perfect. I don't want to go more than that anyway, because I'm not going for a stance look or anything like that. So we're gonna run a little bit of negative camber today. That's how we're starting off the day. I'm going to do some simple things just to ease myself in, reset my body after the last video, because we ran into so many problems, which is fine. I mean, it's expected, but I wasn't expecting that header to fit the way it did. I was expecting it to fit a little bit better, but I think because it's more designed to fit on a 240 with the carburetor setup, this intake with all these other little things attached to it, there's some clearance issues and it's hitting in a few spots. So as long as we don't have a rattle, I think we'll be okay. The heat shield is on, which I wasn't running before, so that's good. But we'll just have to see ultimately. I mean, everything is on there, and that's the best we could do for now. We'll see if we can make some minor adjustments down the road, but I really don't want to take that intake off again, because it is the most tedious, and like if you want to torture someone, that's where you tell them to take this intake and exhaust header off multiple times. Just keep redoing that process, and that's it. They'll have to be institutionalized because it's that bad. It's okay though. Like I said, I think we're good to go. Let's adjust the camber, and then we'll move to the rear end. We have to get some stuff done in the interior, which we'll walk you through. Let's go. All right, guys, we've got one side already adjusted, so now it's running at negative 1.5 degrees camber. So ultimately what these top hats allow us to do, they allow us to rotate the actual top hat itself, and you can adjust a total of 3 degrees camber. So you would be from positive 1.5 to negative 1.5. So it's a total of 3 degree movement. So we're gonna go ahead and do this side, and it's very simple. All you literally have to do is take these 3 bolts out. They're not nuts, they're bolts. And then you would go underneath, twist the actual top hat, and then put the bolts back in, and you're done. It's simple as that. It's not hard at all. And I love the fact that these are bolt-on, meaning you don't have to cut up the actual stock body to get these on your car, and have some adjustability. Not a lot, some adjustability, but because we have the lower control arms that we do and all the suspension pieces underneath it, we have ultimately quite a bit of adjustability on the front suspension. And this is going to be a similar setup that we go and we do in the rear in a couple videos from now. So this is pretty exciting. I know on most setups that I've seen for these cars, there is some cutting and welding required, whether it be on the actual strut tower portion or down below on where the hub and spindle meet, because these cars have a strut and hub spindle in one piece. It's not separated. So the fact that we could go with this setup where literally no welding and cutting is required, everything is new, is absolutely amazing. We don't have to ruin the stock body, which is my favorite. I love the fact that we could technically go back after all this work that we've done and we could put it back to stock. That's absolutely amazing. So this should be interesting, should be fun. And I'm hoping that, well, the car will be mint. It's fine, but this is awesome. It's the little things that get me excited, because it's just the engineering and the thought that went into designing these products is just absolutely crazy. So shout out to Techno Toy Tuning, because their parts so far have just been absolutely great, and I've had no fitment issues getting any of their stuff to fit. So it's just been a pleasure to work with. It's been amazing. It's weird. It's like Lego. All right, let's get this side done, and then we'll move on to the rear. All right, guys, warp zooming to the rear end disassembly goodness. Let's do it. Oh, I'm dizzy. Look at that, special effects, ninja style. Oh, I might puke. Alright guys, we're starting with the interior, and the reason why we have to do anything in the interior for the rear end is to get to these. So we have to get these plastic trim pieces off, that way we can access the top bolts or the nuts for the strut. So we're going to do that real quick, and then we'll dive in. The goal for the end of this video is to have the rear end completely out. I'm going to try and take everything out in one big piece. I don't know if that's going to work, just because the car may not be high enough. If we had a hoist, it would be really simple. We could just disconnect everything and then lift the car up, leaving everything sitting on the ground. So we'll see what we can do. We'll play it by ear, cheers. I don't know what the phrase is, but whatever. We'll take it step by step and we'll go from there. Hopefully we can have everything disassembled fairly quickly. With the interior prepped, we can now move underneath the car to get everything ready to be disassembled and dropped down. We're going to start with removing the lower control arm bolts. There's a total of 8, 4 per side. Once these are removed, we're then going to take the 2 nuts that hold the mustache bar in place. Finally, we can't forget removing the sway bar end links. And that will be everything underneath the car that we have to remove. We'll then remove the bolts holding on the struts at the top. That's why we got the interior all cleared out, and then everything should slowly start to come down. Now there will be quite a bit of finesse required. As you can see here, I'm going back and forth multiple times to the back, the jack, the left and the right side, just to finesse everything, making sure it comes down the way it should. I mean, doing this with one person isn't really the easiest job, but it can be done. You just need to take your time. Look out, boy. Get out! All right, she's floating. She's floating. Okay. She's floating! With the rear end pretty much down, I ended up having to disassemble the rear end just slightly by removing the axles and the cross member that holds the two control arms together, just so I could remove each side at a time. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the whole rear end coming out in one piece. Alright guys, that's a wrap for today's video. I'm super pumped I was able to get as much as I got done today. These parts are not going back on the Datsun, which means in the next video we have to start prepping and getting everything ready for the rear end on the car. Hope you guys are liking the build so far. Please smash the like button, it would mean the world to me. Make sure you subscribe. Peace out, and as always, stay classy, crew.